How long does it take to start making money on Amazon? What's going on, guys? My name's Kyle, and today's video is going to be about how long it actually takes to start seeing money return to you after your initial investment in your online business doing Amazon FBA. So Amazon FBA, if you don't already know, is a business model where you are creating your own Amazon storefront, and then you sell your own privately labeled products, and then you hope to sell those and then make a profit on those, and then reinvest into your company and keep getting inventory, and then you're selling to different people online. So it's kind of a lengthy process, and there's a couple different steps that vary in time. We're going to go through those steps and just kind of, have a good estimate on how long it's going to take for you to be getting your money back. Because a lot of times people, you have no idea, and if your money's going to be tied up for a long period of time, it's nice to know ahead of time, right? So the first step would be in the process is finding your product, and we won't really talk about that portion because that can vary tremendously, and you're not investing any money really besides for research like applications like Jungle Scout, but that's really insignificant, maybe $50. But so after that, you'll find, let's say you find your product, and then you have to find a supplier. And so that's where step one comes into play of how long does it take for your supplier to make the products. So this can vary in time. Usually, in my experience, it's been 1 to 2 weeks, and I really make a big effort to find suppliers that can do it in 1 to 2 weeks. I've had people give me quotations for like a month or a month and a half to give me or to produce the products, and I don't know why it would take them that long. But if you can, do your best to find suppliers that aren't taking that long, just because your money is going to be tied up for longer, because your money basically is leaving your pocket before they start production. So usually 2 weeks is a good estimate for them, like max, for them to produce it and then get it into the beginning stages of shipping. And then once you're starting to ship from China, that's like the second step, and that's about a week, anywhere from a week to a month and a half, depending on what type of shipping you do. Now, I always do air shipping because that's quicker, and that 3 extra weeks, if you were to do sea shipping, can make a huge difference as far as how long your money is being tied up and how long it's taking to launch this product that you have. Okay, so the initial 2 weeks plus, let's say, a week and a half for shipping, and then an extra few days for Amazon to process the order once it actually gets into their warehouse. So we're looking at about a month before Amazon even has your product up and running, since you bought the products from your supplier in China. Okay, so that's the month for those first 2 steps, and then you have to actually start selling the product. So all things, let's say it's a great product and you're selling from the get-go, you get your reviews. So after a couple days, you're starting to get sales, and let's say you're doing decent sales, you're getting like 5 to 10 sales a day. Okay, so with that, Amazon gives you or sends you money every 2 weeks. So they pay you bi-weekly, and so every other week. And so basically you'll get your money then, but it's not usually all of the money that you've made, right? So a lot of times, especially with new sellers, they're going to hold on to a lot of the money that you're bringing in just in case of returns or other issues that come up with your products. Because if they just give you all the money and then all of a sudden they get all these bad reviews flooding in, and everyone wants to return their products, they need to have some kind of collateral, just in case you just take off and run. They won't be out of all the money that from people making returns, right? So they want to hold on to that money just in case that situation arises. So usually, even though they do pay you every 2 weeks, a lot of times, especially with new sellers, maybe half of the money that you're making is going to be held over for the next pay period. So you're looking at about a month after you start selling to even get a good chunk of the money from selling. Okay, so all in all those things combined, you have that first month from the shipping and producing, and then you have a month for Amazon to even send it to you. And that's assuming that you're selling decently well in the beginning. Now, oftentimes it's going to take a week or two to get reviews, launch your product properly. Maybe you're launching with Facebook ads, or you're using other services, but whatever you're doing, oftentimes it takes a week or two just to kind of build that momentum up. And then once you have that momentum, you'll start selling very well, or at least maintain what you've built up in the beginning. Okay. So you're looking at probably 2 to 2.5 months where your money is tied up in the product and you're not getting that money back. Okay. So in the whole scheme of things, that's not a ridiculously long time, but you definitely shouldn't, invest your month's rent into Amazon, because obviously you're not going to get that back for 2.5 months. So that's something to, be aware of when you're first getting into Amazon. It does take, time for you to get the money, and just because you make a sale doesn't mean you're getting that money immediately, because usually you have to wait about 2 to 4 weeks for that money to come back to you. Now, there's a couple different things that could go wrong, and you wouldn't follow that exact timeline. That's a very, all things are, that's how it was according to plan. There's no issues that arose. Now, sometimes with Amazon, they will have you, undergo a hazmat review, which basically means they just want to make sure that the product that you have is not a hazardous material, and it can be warranted, because sometimes your products could be kind of borderline. You're using batteries and something like that, or it could just be like completely out of the blue and you're selling like, I don't know, like a glove, and they're like, oh, well, we need to check to make sure that's not a hazardous material. Obviously it's not, but it does suck, because that can take a certain amount of time to get sorted out, and that could take like 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how quick you are at providing documents to them, showing that it is indeed what you say it is, and it's made of these certain materials. So that could cause backup. Also, on top of that, there's issues with shipping that could arise. If you are doing sea shipping, a lot of times it takes a while for the shipment to get from the ship itself and through customs and then onto a delivery truck to get to Amazon's warehouses that you're delivering it to. And I've had people talk to me about how their shipments have been caught there for a few weeks, which obviously is a huge bummer. I've never really seen that with air shipping. That's another reason why I kind of go with air shipping, because it's really seamless getting to the warehouses versus having I don't know why, it just seems like customs is so much more intensive with shipping, because I'm sure they check everything that comes in the air as well. But I think because it's such large containers, it takes longer to get through with sea shipping. So that's something else to keep in mind, and that can cause delay. You can also have supplier delays. Maybe instead of taking a week to produce the good like they told you, it's taking them 2 to 3 weeks, right? And there's nothing you can really do in that situation other than go with another supplier next time, or pressure them to kind of hurry up with the process of getting those goods. But that's also a possibility. Now, usually if it's a high ranking supplier, when you're looking it up, whether it be on Alibaba or DHgate or these certain sites that allow you to look for suppliers, usually you won't have issues. But if it's a newer supplier that's not doesn't have much of a reputation, you're putting yourself at risk, because you're not sure how long or if they'll follow through with the promises that they made to you about lead times and how long it's going to take to get those goods to you. So that's pretty much all of the different time issues that could happen when you're selling on Amazon. The only other thing would be is if you're not selling immediately right away and your launch is taking longer than expected. But that's kind of on a case-by-case basis, and it really depends on the product that you have and your strategy for launching the product. But overall, you're looking at 2 to 3, 2.5 to 3.5 months probably, just to get that money back to you and start making money off of your FBA business. But then once you have it set up like that, and if assuming that you're getting constant inventory and you're not running out, you should have a constant flow of cash coming into your bank account from Amazon from the sales that you're doing. So I hope that video helped you guys out. If you liked it, make sure to like it down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.